Here we are in Capernaum, and we're in the synagogue. This synagogue, this particular one, was built in the 5th century. It's a very elaborate and beautiful synagogue. Even its ruins are majestic. And synagogues were a gathering place even while the temple was in Jerusalem. But of course, after the temple was destroyed, then the synagogue becomes extremely important. But at the time of Jesus, Capernaum was this town here right beside the Sea of Galilee. I'm looking at the Sea of Galilee, and where, fishermen are coming and going, and then the life of this little village was just robust and so forth. The Lord made His home here. We know that He was raised in Nazareth, that He was born in Bethlehem. We know about He spent the last weeks of His life in Jerusalem, and so those are the places our attention often goes. But the Lord loved this place. This was His home. This was His chosen place. These were where His friends were. This is where He wanted to come back to after the resurrection. When someone has a sense of home, if you have been raised in a traditional setting to where your family has been in a place a long time, or some way you have an attachment to a particular place, you know what home feels like. And Jesus, even at the resurrection, wants to come back here. This is His home. I will see you in Galilee, He says, after the resurrection. Tell Peter I'll meet him in Galilee. We're not very far from the place where the Lord met Peter, and after Peter, in his fear, said, I don't know Christ, I don't know Jesus, I'm not really one of His disciples. The Lord met him here, and He said, do you still love me? And he said, you know that I do. And said that 3 times, of course. All that happened right here. The feeding of the 5,000, not very far from here. Mary Magdalene comes from not very far from here. So this is the center of things. This is where Jesus began to do His ministry. And in a synagogue, probably on this very site, I would imagine that this more elaborate synagogue was built on the ruins of the older one. In this very place, Jesus first preached His first sermon and cast the demon out of someone. It all happened right here. So it's quite an amazing, emotional thing to be here, because we're in the Lord's chosen home place. We were in Nazareth. That felt wonderful. That's where He was born, spent His childhood home. But this was His chosen place where He loved to be, with fishermen and common people grinding out their meal, going about their daily task. Common people on the edge of the empire, people that were unclean, unfit, didn't know the law very well, maybe Jews, trying to be Jews, not quite Jews, not Jews at all. This is where Jesus chose to do His ministry. There's an awful lot to learn from that. Well, I tried all I could. Seems like nothing ever did me good. Then I heard that Jesus was passing by, and I decided I'd give God a try. Amen. Oh, it is Jesus. Yes, it is Jesus. It is Jesus in my soul. For I have touched the hem of His garment, and His blood has made me